It is me, Tish Tushington. Are you well? One does hope so. I'm afraid I've rather neglected you all, haven't I? One really is most awfully sorry. Couldn't be helped. The Brigadier and I took a year or so out to do a spot of travelling. Didn't agree with him at all, poor old bean. Rather under the weather for most of our trip. Things got off to a bad start for the Brigadier when we stepped off the plane at Charles de Gaulle Airport and he was bitten by a dog on the concourse. 8 weeks in quarantine with suspected rabies. Dashed bad luck. I'm sure you'll all agree. Thank goodness for Jean-Paul, a local tour guide one hired, who became my constant companion throughout the Brigadier's imposed period of confinement. French, you know, taught one so much about European culture. And the Brigadier didn't fare much better in Central Africa, where, within hours of arrival, he succumbed to tsetse fly fever. It's at times like this that one really appreciates our wonderful NHS and medicated wet wipes, of course. However, we were most impressed by the medical expertise of a local shaman who rubbed the Brigadier down with a mixture of burnt antelope dung and crushed poppy seeds on a daily basis and spoon-fed him his own urine for 5 weeks. What a treat! Bish bash bosh. 10 weeks later, he was up and about and ready for the next leg of our trip, which took us to South America. Venezuela, to be precise. We were so very relieved to have overcome our initial stumbling blocks in Europe and were jolly excited to be arriving in the Americas. However, on arrival at Caracas International Airport, one was completely gobsmacked when the Brigadier tested positive for recent heroin usage and was subsequently detained for 4 months in a rather fetid South American correctional facility awaiting deportation. I know, highly inconvenient. Thank goodness I'd binged-watched my old chum Binky Farlington's box set of Breaking Bad. It came to me straight away. It was those dashed African poppy seeds, of course. I have to say, our chaps at the Foreign Office were fearfully slow to respond to the Brigadier's situation, unlike the shaman chap who, after just 1 phone call and a good beating of a drum, became fully aware of our plight and was on a plane heading to Venezuela to explain to the authorities exactly what had happened. Regrettably, things didn't go quite according to plan, as the shaman was also held on arrival at the airport for recent heroin usage and, can you believe, was detained in the same rather fetid South American correctional facility as the Brigadier. I know! What are the chances? But, thank goodness, one's back in good old Blighty and perfectly champing at the bit to resume relations with you all. Oh, the Brigadier's back next month. Sadly, his initial 4-month sentence was extended due to bad behaviour, namely fighting with 4 French chaps, insisting that he be allowed to dress for dinner, and attempting to bite someone's cock off in the shower. According to Binky Farlington, these things happen when one's banged up abroad. Well, quite a bit has happened here in Booby Dingle since my last broadcast. Edited highlights include a suspected UFO sighting on Jim Bodkin's land up at Lower Clag Farm, or Area 51 as it's now known. As you know, there's never a dull moment here in Booby Dingle, always something going on, plenty for one to get involved in. It's our country way of life, you see. We simply never stop. So I rather thought you'd be awfully interested in hearing about our next village project. I rather thought that it would be a capital idea to put on a theatrical production, to lift everyone's spirits in this current gloomy climate. It will mean resurrecting the Booby Dingle players, of course, whose last production, Ben-Hur, closed on opening night. Damn shame. However, I suppose one has to agree with the review in the Booby Dingle Herald. 2 donkeys pulling a cart doesn't quite emulate the iconic chariot scene. And I don't suppose the Health and Safety Officer's report helped, particularly paragraph 2, subsection B. Listen, I've got it here. Now, what did they say? The Bulbydingle Players' production of Ben-Hur showed a flagrant disregard for current health and safety regulations. Of the 15 violations cited in this report, the Health and Safety Executive found the most grievous of these to be the use of temporary staging, which proved to be insufficiently robust for such an ambitious production. Well, there you go. And all because 8 of the Bulbydingle Players, along with the first 2 rows of the audience and the ice cream seller, sustained non-life-threatening injuries during the chariot race scene, which was performed on our portable interlocking stage in the village hall. Turns out, the interlocking stage wasn't quite as interlocked as it might have been. Damn shame. So I've decided, along with a few chums, that it's time for the phoenix to rise from the ashes. So we're going to jolly well have another go at putting on a show. After all, I think that one owes it to one's community to share one's talent and creative propensities. I'm sure you'll all agree. I rather thought that a musical would be quite jolly. Negotiations are ongoing as to which one. However, I'm rather keen on The King and I. And I must say, I rather fancy the role of Anna Leon Owens. Good Lord, if Deborah Carr could pull it off, how hard can it be? Well, whatever we do decide, I just know it's going to be an absolute triumph. Great Scott, is that the time? I really must fly, so much to do. Of course, I'll keep you informed of all theatrical developments. Till next time, cheerio. La 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 la. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. La, 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 la.